What's going on, everyone? It's AJ and I'm coming back at you with another video. And in today's video, I wanted to go over some of the top 10 best tips and tricks that I found when it comes to digital marketing. I'm going to go over these in no particular order, but these are some of the best tricks and tips that I found out that have worked best for me and I've had a lot of success with so far. So without any further ado, I'm going to get right into it. So the first tip I want to go over is video content. And posting videos often seem to receive a lot more engagement overall. And this is definitely super helpful when you're trying to promote things as your brand and trying to post stuff on social media and other platforms. As videos are just more entertaining to watch and they definitely bring more attention from people overall. The second tip I want to go over is a personalized experience. So when people are interacting with your website or page, when you have a personal experience for them and you're directly engaging with them and addressing them as themselves, it's overall just a better experience. It increases engagement rate for people wanting to interact with that post. And if you're sending out content and you're able to personalize it with their name and even use content that is preference oriented to what they're looking for, it's going to be super helpful when trying to market and advertise to people for certain needs. The third tip I have is to use multi-channel marketing. And basically, when you're advertising on different platforms, you're going to want to try to use all the different platforms that you have available to you, as this is going to expand your reach as much as possible. So when you're using those different platforms, you can use them to get your message across in different ways, and you can even use them to post different types of content, such as YouTube, you could post more videos, Twitter's, you could do more text content and links and things like that, and then Facebook, you could say post something like reviews and different customer interactions like that. The fourth tip I have is to have an effective content strategy. When you have an effective content strategy, you can use this to kind of figure out what content will work best and perform well and receive the most likes and shares on your pages. This is super helpful if you have an idea planned for what you're going to want to post, because if you're just kind of posting just random things, it's really not going to go as well as if you're doing the research and seeing what works well and how you can interact the best ways with your audience. The fifth tip I want to go over is using accurate data. So you want to make sure that all type of data that you're using to base your campaigns off of is still up to date and relevant. For example, if you're using email marketing, you want to make sure that you don't have a bunch of old emails that you're sending things out to, as gathering the data for this is really going to be not up to 100% of everything that you need. And same with posting on social media. If you have followers that are just inactive accounts and things like that, your numbers for engagement from followers to likes may be off, and you're not going to get a total accurate number of what you're trying to look at. And that kind of leads us into the next tip. Tip number 6 is to measure your analytics. You're going to want to go over the analytics that you're collecting, because either way, you're going to be getting all the data from the campaigns that you run. So if you're not really looking and using the analytics to your advantage, you don't really have a way to effectively increase engagements, impressions, likes, and things like that without really looking at this data, and using this data can definitely help you in the future. The 7th tip I have for you would be audience targeting. So what you want to do for audience targeting is really just define your audience and figure out who you're actually marketing to. If you know who you're marketing to, it's going to be a lot easier to reach them, and you can use different platforms and different methods to reach your target audience. Because overall, you're going to want to promote to the people who are going to be most interested in your content. And say, for example, if you have like a car run account, I'm not really going to want to be posting to people that aren't even old enough to drive and things like that, as it's really not going to get me much, and they really can't see and understand the type of content the way someone else who's older may be able to. The 8th tip I have for you is search engine optimization. So search engine optimization is super important if you're running ads and trying to show up on the top of the Google search pages, for example. So you want to keep your keywords up to date, because different keywords are always trending and have different competitions and things like that. So you want to make sure you're using the ones that are going to be most effective with your brand and brand terms. You want to try to update your strategies as much as possible to see what kind of works best and keep current with what's going on. And this is super important, as Google usually updates the algorithm for their searches over 500 times a year. Tip number 9 is to host live events on your page. It's super easy to do this now, especially with the integration of social media and platforms like Facebook and Instagram, where they just have it built directly into their platform. And using live events, you can directly engage with your audience And it's going to be exactly your target audience because the majority of people that are tuning in are going to be followers that you already have and that are trying to look for more information. There's a good potential that you could do question and answers and other posts like that so you can actually directly engage with your users and even respond to them live. Live streaming also looks really good for your brand. It helps you stand out amongst others that may not be using a live stream strategy. And the last tip I have for you is email marketing. So email marketing is still one of the top ways to reach a large audience of people, and the open rates for emails have increased almost 200% in the past few years from people actually just, instead of scrolling past your email, to clicking on it and seeing what's in the email. This is due to having different types of personalized content and things like that. But email marketing is also one of the cheapest things that you can do to market, and it's also able to reach more people now, especially on mobile phones. People are always checking their emails and getting notifications in different ways, and it's just an endless opportunity to gain the attention from your potential customers. So overall, these are some of the best tips and tricks that I found that have worked best for me and best from doing research in the industry. If you guys have any other suggestions or tips that you like, leave them in the comments below. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.